thank you everyone for being here and being involved in the very first ePitch competition. So for our contestants, congratulations. I'm so excited for you and well done on your poster. And to our judges and moderators, a true thank you. We could not do this without you and really appreciate your time as well as your commitment to AOCS. So we're going to take some time to give everyone an overview of what to expect for the ePitch. So we'll go over things that the judges will need to know, the moderators will need to know, but also that our contestants need to know so that everyone kind of has the same information. This is meant to be a discussion. So please either unmute yourself and ask those clarifying questions or new questions. You can also use the chat if you prefer to do that, but absolutely should be a back and forth conversation. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you an overview of what the ePitch competition will look like. We'll go through the judging criteria and how things kind of will be scored. And then finally, what to expect the day of your live ePitch presentation. And for those just joining, welcome. And please do feel free to unmute to ask questions, or you may use the chat as well. Oh, and I suppose I didn't introduce myself. I know many of you, but I'm Amy Guerin, and I'm the Director of Brand and Digital Strategy with AOCS. Okay, so just an overview. What is this ePitch? So each of the contestants will have 5 minutes to present their pitch, and then that will follow with a 5-minute Q&A and judge feedback section. So it is a short time, and that is on purpose. We're wanting to see the contestants be able to very concisely and succinctly present what's important about their research. So the 5 minutes we will ask you to adhere to very closely. What we'll do with that is the chat will be open, and if you want to practice that right now, you can go ahead and open your chat box and make sure it's up on your screen. So we'll have you have that open, and then when you're presenting, we'll let you know that you're at 3 minutes. I'm typing that in right now so everybody can see. So we'll let you know at 3 minutes that you've gone 3 minutes, and then we'll let you know 1 minute left. So we'll try to help you stay on time using the chat. Should you exceed the 5 minutes, we'll ask the moderator to turn their webcam on, and they'll go onto the live stream and just say, "Thank you so much for your presentation. Can you give me a summation in 1 sentence?" And that'll be it. And yes, the meeting will be recorded and made available to everyone participating. So see, I'm seeing those chat messages as well. So very important to stick to that 5-minute time frame for your pitch. For our judges and moderator, we'll also ask that you try to stay within that 5-minute time frame for the question and answers and feedback. And this bit's important. We do want you to be able to ask those questions, clarifying questions, but we also want there to be time remaining for you to give feedback, because this is meant to be something that helps these students, prepare for the future. And the feedback that you give them on how to improve or what they did well can be very important for them as they prepare. So very strict on the 5-minute pitch. If more time is needed for the feedback or Q&A portion, we'll fudge a little bit there, because that's an important bit of this. So what is the pitch? What are we looking for here? And so you've got 5 minutes, and in some cases that can be an eternity, and in some it's just never enough time. But what you want to do with the pitch is you want to have a hook. And so your hook here is, why should people be interested? Why should they care? So what's important about this research or what problem that you were trying to solve. Why is it interesting? Why should people care about the solutions you're about to go through? You want to engage the audience, and to do that, it can be, you know, through your voice, the energy that you have as a presenter, any of your nonverbal cues, you know, using your facial expressions, as well as gestures you might make. And then, of course, we want you to make this memorable. And things that are memorable, usually there's a bit of fun. So wherever, you know, we want to educate, but we also want to entertain a bit, because that's what makes your pitch special and unique. So as far as the components of a pitch, we're going to leave that to you in regards to how you think you want to break this down, as well as the time that you want to devote to the pitch on each of the various sections. But you do want to go through all the components of your research or of your poster within that 5-minute time frame. So you want to give a little bit of background of your hypothesis, or, you know, what question here was I trying to answer and why? What is that research problem that you're trying to solve? You want to go through your results, as well as then from those results, extrapolate any possible solutions or any possible next steps. And then you also want to say why this is relevant. And that goes back to that hook, is what is this problem you're trying to solve, but also why is it important? Why should people care about this? So you do want to go through your poster much like you would at an in-person poster presentation, but of course you only got 5 minutes. And, you know, remember that bit of fun, that audience engagement, but also hitting all those important points for your poster. And for my judges, these are the things that you're going to be looking for when we talk about delivery, when we look at the score sheet in just a bit. And we'll look at the score sheet now. So this is the score sheet that our judges will have. And for the contestants, it's just as important for you to see this score sheet as well, because you want to look at this as you create your pitch and say, am I excellent on all these things, or am I good on all these things, or is this deficient? And that way you can better adapt your pitch to meet the scoring rubric. And for the judges, this is a guideline for you to make sure that everything is covered in the pitch. So what you'll do is you'll have a few moments in between pitches, as well as at the end of the competition to deliberate or to take the time to score. And you'll want to score all these columns and total it up. You'll put that via private message in the Zoom chat to the AOCS staff member. I think for most of your sessions, that is going to be Ellen Snipes. And so you'll send her your score, and that will, you'll want to include the presenter name. So in this case, it would be Garen 24, because of course I'm going to get a 24 out of 24 on my presentation. And Ellen will be the one responsible for tallying the scores to get the rankings. So as a judge, all you're worried about is coming up with that total score. And this is the sheet that you will kind of use for each student. This will be provided to you, as well as included in a calendar invitation. Now, so we kind of went through, how are we scoring on this? What's a good pitch? And so there is an example. Unfortunately, I don't have an example for you from an AOCS e-pitch, because you're the first ones. You're our pathfinders and our trailblazers. You're going to set the bar. So I found one that's really good and really close to what we're looking for here. And so the link's available there. And Ellen, if you can pop that in the chat, or I can, since it's on my presentation, we'll provide you this as well, judges and contestants, so that you can kind of look at this pitch and see how it fits that rubric. Now, one thing you'll notice here when you go to watch this example pitch is that this contestant actually only used one slide. So you've only got 5 minutes, and you don't want to make it noisy, but you want to do something that gains audience interest while helping to tell your story. And so I encourage you to watch this, and you'll hear the story that this presenter tells and see how these graphics very much fit the story. But by using, you know, big, simple graphics like this, there's a lot of clarity for the audience on what the presenter is trying to relay. The judges will have your ePoster that you uploaded, or the PDF of your poster. So they'll also be able to look at that. So you don't need to worry about having your poster up that you've already prepared. The judges have that. What you're worried about is telling an engaging story to the audience. And so I encourage you to look at this pitch. And then we are telling you no more than 4 slides is our strong recommendation. If you need more than 4 slides to tell your story, you probably need to go back, look at that rubric and look at what we're looking for in the pitch and kind of reframe or reformat what you're presenting. And I'm just going to pause right here for a second since we kind of went through the pitch and some general scoring. Any questions from anyone? Now there is, in addition to your judges, there is an audience participation vote. And so in this case, audiences will have a poll and they will vote for their favorite. And what we'll do is at the end of all the pitches, the moderator will come on, and this is giving the judges also time to tally their scores from the pitches, and we'll launch the poll. And it'll have everyone's name and poster, and the audience will be able to vote on who they want to win. And so moderators, this is your time, of course, to encourage the audience to vote in that poll. And you can also go through the listing to fill the time and talk about, you know, something, some positive feedback or something interesting from each of those pitch presentations. We're going to leave the poll up for about 4 minutes. That sometimes it takes people that long because of their internet connection, the way it comes up and then the way it goes down. We will then close the poll and show the results. So moderators, you will of course announce, well, the fan favorite was Doug Beavis. He won fan favorite. And this actually counts as one judge's vote. So the fan favorites will be ranked out of 24 points as well. AOCS staff member will add that to the tally for the final result. So we do encourage you to invite your colleagues, invite your fellow students to come and join and vote for that fan favorite, because it does have an impact on who wins. The audience will also be able to ask questions, and those questions will be provided to our moderators and judges in a Google spreadsheet. I'll go through the live stream in a moment, but this actually, because it's open access, so people that are not registered for the AOCS annual meeting can attend this. So you do not have to be registered for the meeting. This will stream to the AOCS annual meeting website. It'll also stream to the AOCS Facebook and the AOCS YouTube channel. And so people can watch from all of those endpoints. However, key here is that you can only vote on the AOCS annual meeting website. That's the only place the poll is active. And we'll have somebody there telling them, if you want to vote, go to this link. So we'll try to remind them. But open access, non-registrants can attend. Non-registrants can also ask questions about your pitch or about your poster. And because there are 3 stream endpoints, we'll have an AOCS staff member watching all 3 of those stream endpoints. And they will take the questions from the audience and put them in a Google spreadsheet that the judges and moderator will have access to. So that'll just automatically update as questions come in. Yeah, was there a question? Okay, I think somebody may have just unmuted.
And Amy, can I give you a question from the chat? A good question that came in. The question is, 3MT pitch is sometimes for more general audience. Is AOCS wanting to go in that direction, or do you want to consider the audience as well educated about the scientific aspects. So, are we wanting the students to go more general in their pitches, or, more scientific?
And I would say that you're going to straddle the line between the two. How's that for a non-answer? But we do know your annual meeting attendees, they are an educated audience. So they're going to have that background in your interest area. However, because we are going live on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully we'll have people from other divisions joining to watch your pitch, you might want to leave in some of that general or framing information so that it is relevant to them as well. So I would say, you've obviously got to talk about your research problem. You've obviously got to present results. Those can stay scientific, but when you're talking about your hook, so why do you care and why are you interested? And then when you're talking about kind of your solution or your take-home message, I would suggest making those more general. And that'll work really well even for your scientific audience, because you're being clear. You're being clear of why this is important, and here's your take-home message about my presentation. So I would do those two general, with the middle parts about your research problem and your data targeting a more scientific audience. Does that help? Any clarification on that?
Thank you, Amy, for the answer.
Yeah,
really
absolutely. Good question. Good, and absolutely, I love that you're considering your audience. That's perfect. Okay. Okay, so what to expect on the day of the live stream. I've hinted at a lot of these things that are going to occur. So we're going to join a Zoom meeting, just like we are right now. Now, the attendees will not be in this Zoom meeting, so you can use the chat. Attendees will not see that. Attendees will be on that stream endpoint, and they'll either be watching on the annual meeting website, AOCS Facebook, or YouTube. So they're not here in Zoom with us. That feeds through a live stream. Now, while you're on your live stream, do not open up those other endpoints. So the annual meeting website, Facebook, or YouTube. There's actually a delay on the stream that we're doing in Zoom, and what they're seeing, about 30 to 90 seconds sometimes, if you open both, causes an audio feedback loop. It's very unpleasant. So no, don't worry about being on that attendee end. Just stay on the Zoom end. You'll join your Zoom link, just like we did here today. And we typically set that anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes prior to the start of your live session. And the reason we do that is so that if anything's going wrong, anybody's having any challenges, we can go through and get those problems solved. We'll let you have a chance to share your screen, make sure that's working, introduce yourself to the judges, make sure audio, webcam, everything's set to go. So that 30 minutes is really helpful in preparation for your live session. So when we get ready to start the live session, your moderator, I will pause, there'll be a pause on the live stream, pretty picture goes up, and I'll tell your moderator, okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, live. Your moderator goes live. They're going to introduce the e-pitch as well as what's going to go on during the competition, and then introduce the first presenter. Pause that live stream again. I'll come get my first presenter, and we'll get your slides up, screen shared. Deep breath, you're ready. 3, 2, 1, live. You go live, you do your 5-minute pitch. At the end of your pitch, pause again. We now get your moderator, or your moderator and judges. 3, 2, 1, live. We do the 5-minute Q&A. And that repeats over and over again. Once all the pitches are done, we pause and everybody goes live together for the announcement of the winner. And then once that is completed, you're all done, pitch and stream are over. So it's a multi-step process, but you'll have plenty of time to get ready. If you need a breath as you prepare for Q&A, you just say so. Say, I need just 10 seconds, and we'll take that time to get you ready. If you need to communicate with me, I'll be running the live stream. You can use the chat. You have questions or problems, and I'll also give you my cell phone number. So should you have any issues the day of your live presentation, you will be able to get a hold of someone. So I've already said, the moderator is going to be introducing these people. So how do you get the introductions and background. And you will receive a guide that takes you through everything. But what you want to do is you want to visit the EventScribe website, which is the annual meeting online platform. And you'll visit that, you'll navigate to your ePoster presenter. And if you click their name or ePitch presenter, it'll take you to their bio should they have provided one. Oops, sorry. And you'll be able to then get what you need to introduce them and the background. We'll also include for you, everyone will receive a calendar invitation, and we'll put in there the name of the poster as well as the name of the presenter as well. So that's how the introductions are developed. As far as questions and feedback, this is an example of a Google Sheet you will have, and the moderators and judges have access to this. And we'll have your posters separated out by name and title, and an AOCS staff member will put whatever questions that come into that spreadsheet. And of course, judges, you may have your own questions that you want to ask, and that's just fine. Sometimes the audience has no questions, and in that case, I would suggest let's ask one or two from the judging panel that you might want to have answered. And judges, you don't have to type your question into the spreadsheet, you can just ask it. The moderator of the session will be the one primarily responsible for saying, okay, we have a question from the audience, and reading that question out loud for the author to answer. So a really important part of that 5-minute Q&A feedback period is actually the feedback. And so this can come from the judges and the moderator. And what we want here is we really want to give our contestants valuable, constructive, actionable feedback on their presentation. So, and you can, let's say that they did a fantastic job, reference what they did well. Is, you know, your summation of your research problem was spot on because you really elucidated a very specific issue, or the data presented in this section was really helpful in me understanding exactly why you came across this solution. So give some very specific feedback. I mean, it's fine to say, hey, that was a great presentation, but if at all possible, reference what was great about it. And maybe it was the way that they delivered this certain content, or maybe it was that they were engaging, like the pitch of your voice and your use of facial expressions really helped engage the audience. But you can also reference that data and that poster. And we want it to be actionable if there is feedback. That is, you know, you should have, perhaps you didn't look at the webcam while you were presenting. I think you may have had 2 screens and you were looking at your PowerPoint presentation on the other screen while you were presenting instead of looking at the audience. And if you had faced the audience and moved your PowerPoint presentation, it would have been much more impactful. So actionable and goal referenced on the poster, the data, as well as the delivery. And this is an important part of the ePitch process. We really want to make this valuable to our contestants in that way. And also to those watching, because we're going to have other students here. And hopefully they will join us to participate in the ePitch in the coming years. And this will give them a good way to prepare for that. And then scoring, we already looked at the rubric, but just go through, and I would say both judges and contestants, look at this score sheet and really figure out what it means. And for my contestants, really think about what is a 24 out of 24? Same for judges, but then also remember that audience favorite. And you want to make sure that you're engaging the people. So even if they didn't come to hear your pitch, you want to make them vote for you. But you also want to invite your colleagues, your fellow students, your parents, your family. They'll really enjoy getting to see you present this. And of course, they can vote for you as well.
Amy, can I ask a quick question from the chat?
Yeah.
In order to vote, does an attendee need to be registered for the annual meeting?
They do not. So the attendee to vote does not have to be registered for the annual meeting, but they do have to go to the annual meeting website, but we will have it open where that live stream viewer is. So you do not have to log in. You do not have to be registered because I can only launch a poll on one platform. It's just not possible to launch it on 3 and have it do math. So they will need to go to that annual meeting platform. And I should have probably set up a similar poll here. I'm going to see if I can do it on the fly. This is a little bit different because I'll actually create the poll in my live stream software. Is it gonna, no, it's not gonna let me make it on the fly. Let's not do that. But yes, so they will go to that endpoint on the annual meeting. That's where they place their vote. They click on the poll. We will have some AOCS staff members that are like on the Facebook and YouTube, and they're gonna type in once we get to that end and remind people, hey, if you wanna vote, go to this URL to click the poll. But no, you don't have to be registered.
Thank you.
As far as the announcement, that comes at the end after that poll closes. All the math is done. The AOCS staff member that's doing the tallies will send a private chat message to the judges and moderator. We'll all go live together, so the whole group. And the moderator, of course, will congratulate everyone because my gosh, just making it to be a finalist, that's a huge honor. And then we'll announce the second runner-up and the first place winner. And then we close the stream. You will have resources available to you as you prepare, both judges, moderators, and our contestants. We have presenter guidelines, and these are for the contestants. You will see, it's a PDF. You'll receive a link to that document. Judges, you will receive guidelines as well. And that's a kind of a comprehensive PDF, takes you through everything and what you should be doing. You'll also receive that score sheet. And for my contestants, I'll make sure you get a copy of the score sheet as well so that you can use that as you prepare. And then I, of course, place that example pitch because I think that's a really good kind of marker to look at to understand for both judges and contestants what we're looking for here. You will receive a calendar invitation for your entire ePitch session time backed up 30 minutes prior. And we will attach to that like the judging form, guidelines, things like that that you need to know as well so that you have it in multiple places. And that's what I kind of had prepared for the orientation, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have or any concerns you have. And Ellen, anything in the chat that needs to be addressed? I'm looking through really quickly.
I think I'm caught up, except for the very last question. Oh no, that was a private message. No, I think we're all caught up in the chat.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for attending. Be on the lookout for a lot of these inputs. We're gonna start getting those over to you this week so that you have them as you prepare. But of course, as you get ready to judge, to moderate, or to present that pitch, if you have questions or need support, just get in touch and we're happy to help you with that.
Amy, excuse me. I have one more question. Perhaps I have missed it, but colleagues of mine who wants to watch the poster pitch can watch it without them having them to register for the annual meeting, right?
That is correct. Registration is not required, and they can, if they want to vote, they'll watch it on the annual meeting website on a live stream page, but it will be open. So they're not going to have to log in. They're not going to have to pay anything. If they're not worried about voting, they can also watch it on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, and the links to those platforms will be given at a certain moment, I guess.
Yes, so we'll set up like little events on social media, get those links, and the watch the live stream link. It actually is static. So we can give that to you
And
Now,
Amy, Janet just dropped it in the chat.
oh, perfect. And so that'll be where they go on the annual meeting platform to watch it there where they can vote.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, actually, that's not where but it'll have a link to the live stream player. That's just the schedule of events. But there's an actual, it'll say, watch the live stream. If you've gone to any of the award series presentation and watched those on the annual meeting website, it's that page. And I'll look for it really quick too.
Yep, I just put it in there. The first link
Oh, perfect.
shows you all of the sessions that are live stream, and then from there you can go to the watch the live stream page.
We'll have it plastered in lots of places to direct traffic as well.
Sorry, I have a question.
Ah.
Should the presentations include our ePosters?
No,
Exactly.
So
no.
it does not include your ePoster. The judges will have that. They've already seen it. What we're looking for here is just a little bit different. It's a build upon your ePoster. So if you want a visual aid, you'll use PowerPoint slides. And we're saying less than 4. You want to keep it more big picture in your delivery.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Amy, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Yeah, concerning the uploading the presentation slide, there's another one that says uploading a video optional. Is that something you need to upload as well, or just the presentation slides?
Good question. So you do not have to upload a video. That is optional. Some people might need to because their internet connection is not stable. So if your internet connection is not very good, or you're worried about it, then what we have you do is we'll have you pre-record your pitch and you'll upload it to that video slot. And when it's time for your pitch presentation, we actually play that back as if it was live, but you don't have to worry about your internet connection. You know, there's some people that can't present and share a webcam, right? Because it makes everything go staticky or lag because of their bandwidth. So that's what you can use the video slot for. Now, I don't think this will happen with any of you because you've only got 5 minutes, but let's say that you're wanting to put a video file in your PowerPoint presentation. Those don't work well with live streams. So what you'll need to do there, if it's important, is you'll just send that file to me and I will play it back for you. So you'll say, and now we're going to play a video of this oil droplet, and I'll hit play. It'll play there, but it won't play in your presentation. But the video slot is optional primarily for if you need to provide a pre-record of your pitch. If you have bandwidth issues, we will have you there live for the Q&A section. And what we can do there is you can join just like you are here and join with computer audio. If your internet's really being a pill that day, we'll give you a phone number to call into. And you can answer audience questions and judge questions live on the phone.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, well, you may come.
Hello, sorry, I had one question. I was just wondering if we had to reintroduce a bit ourselves at the beginning of the pitch, or can we directly start with the background, like the scientific background or general background?
That's a good question. So the moderator should give you that brief introduction. You know, they'll say, this is Amy Guerin from AOCS in the Illinois, USA, and they're presenting, you know, how e-pitch orientation. And with that, I'll hand it off to Amy. So they'll have already kind of gone through your name and affiliation to anchor it there. Now, if there's something important, either about you or about your affiliation that you want to add, please do feel free to add that in the introduction or to say, hello, I'm so glad everyone's here. That's absolutely fine. But we hopefully will get at least some of that taken care of for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure as everyone starts getting ready, more questions will occur as you prepare and start thinking about things. So please just get in touch and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you and support you as you prepare. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining. Congratulations to the contestants and thank you so much to our volunteers that are judging and moderating.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.